Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you perking good. So, aliens. Y'all, yeah, aliens, you know. That's why I'm like this today, okay? Granted, I'm probably like this most of my days, but you know what? Fuck you entirely. I don't mean that. Come on, y'all. Alright, so, anywho, y'all have been asking about doing another reading on aliens. I did one during a live stream months back, and got stuff that we weren't expecting to get. I wasn't expecting to get it. And y'all ever since have like, do another video on aliens. So I'm like, okay, I will. Y'all voted on it in a recent live stream, and some political reading overtook that, so we ended up doing that instead, I believe. And so now here we are back at the alien thing, gonna do a dedicated video on this alien stuff. I've asked y'all to send me some questions about it because I don't know what to look into as it relates to aliens. I don't know. I haven't really followed the stories or stuff about it. Not that it's not interesting. It just hasn't been up on the priority list. I just haven't gotten around to it. So I have my sticky note right here. Y'all know how I am about my sticky notes. And I've got some questions down here. Y'all have asked basics like, are aliens real? And then working your way up to stuff like, have they worked with any governments, whether it's the USA government or any other governments? Have they worked with any governments? And was the Roswell alien crash real or fake? And then there was another question I found very interesting. Something about like, are there certain aliens that shapeshift into people, like to look like they are that person, and they kind of live out their days acting like that person when they're not that person, or something to that effect is a question that I've gotten. Like, I'm like, okay. Okay, I'll look into it all, you know what, whatever. It's interesting, you know, why not? So we're gonna look into these things. Also, if we have time, or maybe in an extended video for the Perk Squad, we might look into some other questions that I saw y'all asking. Like, you were asking things about, you know, in the future, is there gonna be disclosure? In the future, is there gonna be an alien invasion? You know, stuff like that. So maybe that'll be a Perk Squad extended video or something like that, because there's already a lot of questions here to get through. I'm gonna try to get through as many questions as I can for y'all. So all about aliens here. Alrighty, so before I get all into that, I am a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive, and in these videos we do take a look at the tea with the tarot. These are always meant to be helpful, not hateful, so if you're down with that, join the family and subscribe. If you haven't already, make sure you're still subscribed if you think you are. That's what the notification bell should look like if you're going to get notified of all my videos, but you need to check back anyway because YouTube drops the ball. That's the join button if you want to join the Perk Squad. Perk Squad has 5 perks, so you get to have a member's badge, custom emojis that I designed, and you get to have exclusive posts, exclusive videos, and shout outs such as this one. Shout out to Ruthie Robles. So new to the Perk Squad, but not new to the Percolator family. She's been here for months and months and months and months, and we are happy to have her and very excited. So shout out to you, Ruthie Robles. Yes, shout out to you. All right, now cards. Let me scooch myself forward and move this microphone right here. Okay, so we're moving this over. Let me make a note here. Okay, I want to make a note here that I'm gonna see how many of these I can fit in. Nope for the rest. So let's get some shuffled up. Shuffle and shuffle it. So, all about aliens, y'all. We'll see how many people find this interesting. I find it interesting, so fuck it. That's what we're going to do it for. But, yeah, let's start out with some basics here. All of this is all alleged and just my interpretation, okay? All alleged. All right, this is all alleged. So, starting with the first question about whether or not aliens are actually real, let's just get some initial cards here. Throwing some stuff out here. Very interesting what I'm getting here. So, I don't even really feel like I'm gonna get context on this, but in terms of are aliens real? What I'm looking at here is it looks like, yeah, because I'm seeing things here talk about that they can be helpful and that they don't have the same sort of, and this is, I guess, overall on the whole. I don't know if this is like, if these answers would be different if we, had different, say, alien races, if that's a thing, and breaking it out between ones. I don't know if that would be different. This is overall. So I'm seeing that it's saying most aliens are what would be considered helpful and that they wouldn't have the same pride issues and wanting to do things based on pride and ego and shit like that, like we do. They wouldn't be doing that quite the same as we would, at least most of what I'm seeing here. It looks like in some ways they think that we don't have all the necessary resources that we need to I guess grow or develop or evolve or whatever in the way that we're meant to, and so that's one of the reasons why they want to offer this assistance and nurturing in some sort of a way. So I'm seeing mostly good things here. Again, this is kind of moving away from negativity and away from toxicity, but also wanting to stay in a place where we aren't so aware. So it's looking like there is some sort of a reason why most of us would not be aware of this or be able to see this or feel this or know this or whatever. Like most of us would say that we don't feel like we've personally had any alien experiences or whatever, and there seems to be a purpose of sorts in that. So just jumping out the gate, again, all alleged, just my interpretation. That's what it's looking like here, which honestly, that feels good to me because I would find it hard to believe that there wouldn't be anything else out there if there's so much universe and maybe universes, I don't know, out there. I'd find that hard to believe, and I would like to believe that the majority or at least a big part of this would be good and not scary. And so from what I'm looking at here, a big part of this is good and not scary. So okay, we'll go with that. I'll pull these up and look into the next question. Okay. Let's look. Okay, so y'all are wanting to know about whether or not they've been working with governments in some kind of a way. Like, do aliens actually work with the governments? Any governments? I don't even know which ones, but like, is this something that's a thing? Like actually working with it some kind of a way? More so than just, oh, we have knowledge of this, but like in some kind of a way have influenced the governments or impacted the governments or maybe given some sort of information to governments or something like that in any kind of way. So God, literally, I can't make this up. The very first card that I pulled out is like a card about working on something and trying to perfect something, trying to get better at something. This is a career card. Literally is the first card I pulled. I can't make this shit up. Okay. So apparently in some capacity they do? Oh man. In some capacity they do. Okay. Let me get a little more context on this one here and this one here. Okay, here we go again. So, apparently they do. Apparently this isn't necessarily something that, how do I say this? Like, it's like we would be looking out for it and they would come in and help whenever they see fit. Like, I'm not necessarily seeing that it's like humans would say, this is what I need and this is what I want and you shall do this or whatever. Like, not, not in that way. It seems like we don't have as big of a say in what the help is or how the help is or whatever the work is that they're working with governments with. It's like it looks like the humans don't have as much of a say over that as the aliens. Like, this is so weird. This is so bizarre to be saying these things. Like, I feel weird, but whatever. I'm doing it. So yeah, some kind of a way we don't have as much of a say as they do. Okay. Apparently, they've been around helping for a very long time. This card is like, it's the Lover's card, but it's kind of depicting that whole Adam and Eve type of vibe, like since the beginning of the world, since the beginning of creation, that kind of a creationist vibe is what this card represents. So it's like they would have been kind of working on this since the very beginning, and trying to help us, like, again, grow or evolve or something. So it's like, to me, when they're talking about working with governments, it's like, yeah, that's old news. This is like, so what? This has been around since before governments. Who cares? Kind of a thing. I'm not saying who cares as in nobody gives a shit and there's no point to this, but it's kind of like, this is not a big news. This isn't a, no big whoop here. Like, that's what this is looking like. So, okay, which, even if I don't know all the details of it, I do know that there have been people that have asked about, like, oh, what about these drawings in these caves from long ago? What about, are these drawings something that could have been done by aliens, or they're drawing aliens coming down to show that they were working with aliens, or, stuff like that. Like, you hear stories about that and you don't know, what to believe on it one way or another, really. But this is kind of leading me to believe that, yeah, they've been around and they've been around for a long time, since the beginning, so to speak. Looks like we haven't always accepted their help and we haven't always liked their help. So that's interesting. Why? Hold on. I just want to, get some understanding as to why. This is like literally the card that comes up a lot of times when I'm looking into alien stuff. And granted, we've only done that a couple of times on here, but the star card is the signifier that comes up. And so being in the reverse, yeah, not wanting the aliens around sometimes. And so, but why? Why would we be not wanting their help in sometimes? And I mean, I guess they could be speaking about things that happened a long time ago, if this is like since the beginning. High Priestess in reverse is like, oh God, how do I say this? Like, with the High Priestess, this is a card that, comes up a lot of times with people who are very sensitive. They're very intuitive. They, are perceptive. And for this to come up in the reverse, it's like because people for some time have blocked those kinds of sides of themselves, and they haven't done well at taking divine wisdom or assistance in that kind of a way. It's like when people aren't super dependable or super trustworthy and they want to go at things their own way, and they kind of put up blocks to receiving and stuff like that. And so again, that kind of vibe of like ego coming up in mind, that kind of like ego issues in the way. Again, it keeps talking about them wanting to be nurturing and wanting to be helpful. So, and this could be in part because when I do these readings, I do my best to cleanse and protect this space before, during, and after readings so that I don't get negative stuff to come through. So it could be talking about these positive things because I'm only allowing positive stuff to come through. But I imagine if there are some negative things involved with those, extraterrestrial entities or whatever that the cards would tell me. It just seems like we haven't gotten there yet, if we are going to, because all of this is looking pretty helpful, thankfully. So it kind of seems like humans have been a little bit more pig-headed with accepting the help in some kind of ways, which that's unfortunate to hear. Over here, Death card upright, talking about new beginnings and new transitions in terms of help. So it's like they're saying throughout time they have found ways to change how they help, and maybe that's due to how receptive or not receptive humans have been, or maybe that's due to what we had the capacity to be able to do. But it does look like there's been a sort of, lack of a better word, evolutionary process of how they help or how they intervene or what they do. So this is long-standing and mostly been helpful in terms of what they're giving me so far, what my team is giving me so far. Interesting. Okay. Let's look into a couple of these other questions. Ooh, y'all give me lots and lots of alien questions. I'm trying to narrow it down to the top ones that I get the most. Okay, so y'all were wanting to know about Roswell, New Mexico, that apparently there was a crash or something. I don't know who knew about the crash, who found the crash, how they dealt with the crash. I know of Roswell as being like, oh, the alien town or whatever, but I always knew of that, like learned of that as kind of like a jokey, hokey kind of thing, and not necessarily in a serious way. Okay, 2 cards, I'm not gonna take them. And so, you know, I guess I'm about to find out, you know, if there's any seriousness to this, what seriousness there is, like what kind of legitimacy, can I talk? Legitimacy. Goddamn. To this at all, we're going to see. So, in terms of the Roswell alien crash and all of that, spirit guides, real, fake, what do we need to know about it? Jesus. Well, damn. Well, damn. Okay. This is seeming real too? I feel like now I need to like read up on this stuff. Now I want to, like, if there's, you know, movies or documentaries or things that, you know, books or stuff like that, now I kind of want to read up on this, because this is looking like as if they would be coming in peace. We've got this this cup here, you know, and it's in the upright position. It's like coming in peace, but then trying to move in really quickly, victimizing themselves some kind of way. This is a card about, like, you know, because this is reckless energy. So if we're talking about wrecking aircraft or something, a crash, then this coming up. The Lover's card upright, was there more than one being in this crash, or are we talking about multiple crashes and multiple sightings? Because I'm seeing more than one thing here. So whatever this is about, I don't think we're talking about like, oh, this is one alien crash or one alien sighting or one alien involved. Like, I'm looking at, you know, more than one here. And the Death card, I mean, in this case, as we're talking about a crash that was fatal and not survivable, pretty sure that comes up as being literal. Again, all of this is just all alleged, just my interpretation, okay, y'all? All alleged. So, just to say, but holy crap. Holy crap. So, if this is kind of real, I mean, I guess you can't be kind of real, either you're real or you're not real. So if this is real, Give me some more insights about this then, Spirit. Whatever you feel like we need to know about it. There's again that card that I get for like aliens. And it's in that reverse position. So having some kind of a disadvantage in this. Oh my God. Then we get this heartbreak card. So something that happened that I guess the aliens would think of as this is a travesty, this is a big loss, this is a big problem, and it would make them not want to kind of come around anymore. And it seems like they see us as being very manipulative, and in bad ways. And whoever this King of Cups is, there's a guy involved with this Roswell thing. I don't know if it's with one specific crash or if there's other things going on. All I know is I'm seeing this guy here that is a part of some sort of manipulation, some sort of plan. It's like, oh, here, we want to get the message out to y'all, but psych, we can't. Who is this guy? Who are you? King of Cups, who are you? Why are you here? Okay, so this is somebody that had information on this. Oh, information, and it's not what it seems. Okay, information, not what it seems. What are you getting involved with, Queen? Huh. Okay. This is a card that represents confidence, but this is a card that represents giving up. So it's like I'm confident about this, but I'm being forced to give up my confidence on this. I'm being forced to kind of let go what I think I know. So did somebody see this and then they were told, no, you didn't, or some shit like that? Like, somebody was manipulated. Wheel of Fortune, it's kind of like, you know, it was bound to happen. It had to happen. It was bound to happen that way. Yeah, because it's like we can't show the light. We can't show the light. Hold on. Also, Seven of Wands is a card that comes up for me a lot of times with military involvement, because this is a fighter. This is somebody defending. So is this one of those times where it's like the military is like, nah, it didn't happen. Sorry, bro, you lied, you know, or whatever like that? Because the reason why I said that is when I got this High Priestess card in reverse, this is about secrecy, and keeping things hush-hush in a way that you're not trustworthy. So it looks like, so I guess when people say that people are silenced, and they're silenced because of some sort of military involvement, it seems that is true. It seems that is true. Don't know why they would care that much to keep it all under wraps. Like, what if they've been around since the beginning of time? Then, like, what's the big deal? Why not just tell people about it? Like, why would we hide? What are we hiding? Like, what's the point? That's just so interesting why they, you know, like Peter Mon says, who'd care? You know? So I'm like, what the hell? You know, what is this? What is this? Come on, you little camera. So, okay, so there is suppression of this. So it's like it did happen, and there was manipulative suppression of this. So that was real. That happened. Okay, well then, just real quick, let's look at the why. Let's look at the why. Like, why do we suppress things then? Why wouldn't we be allowed to know? Why would they keep things secret? Because we can't let that information out of the bag. It would mean that what we are working on would not be worth it. It would put egg on our face. We would be totally humiliated. We'd have a fall from grace. That's not what we want. Military card again here. And with the Four of Wands in reverse, like career path and things being this is like the opposite of a happily ever after. So it's like there's something in it for them that they are working on, allegedly. Just my interpretation. There's something in here that the government's, particularly military involvement, would be working on, that to let this out would mean that they don't get what they want. They would be completely humiliated or embarrassed. They would fall off their high horse, because I guess maybe it's like we would see the truth of something and we wouldn't like what we saw. Like maybe it would make them look bad, because that's kind of what that card is. Like it's not the victory card. It's like maybe it would make them look bad. And certainly it would make whatever they're working on not worth it. What the hell? What are you working on? I need to quit being sassy. Okay, whatever they're working on, this is like if as secret could be. As secret could be. Did I run out of music? Right here, literally, right now, of all times for the music to stop, for me to run out of music. Don't y'all find that weird? I find that weird. Maybe it's just me. But okay, I've restarted some stuff. Alright. So. What the hell? Who are you? You keep coming on. Okay. This Queen of Wands keeps coming on here. Is there some like powerful person with feminine energy? Could be a actual woman. That has some kind of an understanding or knowledge or stake in this, that they don't want people to know things. Like, is there something about that person? These people are keeping quiet because of loyalties. Again, here we go with certain partnerships. I scratch your back, you scratch mine, kind of a thing. Again, with partnerships, how many different times? We literally got like all the partnership cards, all the colleague cards, all those kind of cards. It's like a whole section of people that know this stuff and don't want this stuff out. Apparently, just the knowledge of this stuff being out would be very bad news for them and good news for us, or at least hurt their pride in some kind of a way for us knowing the truth. Again, not going to share the truth. We bring up this guy that was a part of this manipulation before, and again, with them helping. So what? Is it because they help in ways that then you would feel like, oh, well, we can't show what we've done? Like what? They've been helpful and you've been hurtful and you don't want us to know that? Like, is that what this is about? Because then that takes away one extra thing you can put in your pocket, like a scare tactic or something. Like that's kind of what this is like coming up as. If I'm being honest, that's kind of what this is coming up as, which is fucked up. Kind of not surprising, unfortunately. You know, there's some, like, throughout history, we haven't always been told the truth about things. Or at least we've been told just partial truths or things like that. Twisted truths. So, there was another question here that y'all asked that, like I said at the beginning, was very like, huh? But y'all were saying that, are there, like, certain bad aliens that are, like, shapeshifters that like are pretend to be humans or like take over humans or things like that? Is that like a thing? All alleged, just my interpretation. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We got one flipped over, one flipped over, one flipped over. Okay. Apparently, not necessarily in the way people think or have thought or whatever. So out of all the things that I've been getting yeses for, this is one that it's kind of like, not really. So what I'm seeing here, With this Knight of Wands in reverse, this is kind of like not really moving forward with this idea, that this idea was developed to make people feel like, okay, we have to be afraid. This isn't happy family. This isn't good times. And with the Eight of Wands in reverse, it's like there's no good receipts for this. There's like, from what I'm getting here, insufficient information to claim that that's what's going on. And I'm not saying we're talking about proof and evidence here. Obviously, we're doing readings on aliens. There's going to be not very much probably proof or evidence that we can 100% claim is real and legitimate anyway. Probably, don't know. But this is kind of like that this is something that was set up in a way by those people. Remember the people that were worried or didn't think that didn't want the truth out there. Remember that we were looking at in the last pile. It's like this was something that kind of came out from them so that we would think a certain thing that isn't what it seems, and so that we would kind of freak out about it. So to me, it kind of looks like muddying the waters a little bit, like, oh, if we put out if all this stuff out there is about aliens, but we, have this kind of a thing, then that can help screw stuff up and people will get misled and go down a different road kind of thing. So I'm not particularly seeing that. Does that mean that there's no such thing as a bad alien? No, maybe there are. And does that mean that there's never been a time where an alien was able to interfere with a person and, whatever, like decisions they make or who they are or whatever? I don't know. There probably have been times that they were able to interfere, but it doesn't look like whatever it is that people think, there's probably some detailed conspiracy theory out there on this, and it looks like my guides are just saying all the details of that are not necessarily true, that there might be some pieces of it that are, but the overall story that's being sold with that is not necessarily true from what I'm getting here. And again, this is just my interpretation, all alleged. So okay, in that case, is there anything else that we can know about this? See, again, not full truth here, as it relates to the aliens. See, because that's our card that's been coming up for the ETs, not full truth, as it's related to them, manipulations. So there's something about that's about being manipulated, Judgment card upright, Ten of Swords in reverse, Chariot. So it's kind of like, how do I put this? It's like they're saying this kind of stuff needs to end. Like, this is letting things go on past the point. They need to go ahead and end. This is pump your brakes, end. This is like, okay, let's get on the right path here. And so it looks to me, from at least everything we've been getting so far, that again, even if I'm not saying that there could never be a negative alien and there could never be one that didn't have any part of this, it looks like on the whole, they're wanting us to think of aliens as existing and being helpful, and that they have existed and been helpful or tried to be helpful throughout. Here I go with the fart noises in my mouth there. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on. Speak. This is what I get for not having a water cup over here. This is what I get. Okay. English sans fart. Por favor. So, that was Spanish. Fuck me. Today's a long day. Okay? Either way, point being, the aliens are scrambling my brain. They're wanting us to think that they have been pretty helpful since the beginning of time, that they've tried to insert themselves in positive ways overall, and that overall it's like, yeah, I come in peace, I mean no harm, that kind of a thing. So though there could be some rogue bad shit out there, it looks like they're not wanting us to to judge the whole that way. They're not wanting us to think of the whole that way. They're wanting us to think of this in a more positive and helpful light overall, which is quite interesting here. Quite interesting. So, I know I've been going on now for 35 minutes. If you'd like a private reading, first of all, okay, I'm going to do the future of alien disclosure and alien invasion questions for Perk Squad members, like I mentioned a while ago. But for everybody else, if you'd like a private reading with me, then in the description box below, you can find my website, BeasTalksAndTarot.com, and you can schedule it yourself for whatever day and time works best for you. Doesn't matter where in the world you are. So if you want to schedule a private reading, go look down there below. Also, you can find everything else on my website, including merch, P.O. Box, all that shit. Perk Squad members, for those of you who are part of the Perk Squad, I am going to do an extended video right now to take a look at potential for alien disclosure in the future, potential for alien invasions in the future, shit like that. See what the cards have to say on that. If you want to be a Perk Squad member but aren't already, again, the join button below or the link in the description box below will take you there. And if for whatever reason the link isn't clickable, just copy and paste it and put it in a browser, and that ought to work for you. Alrighty, y'all, so don't be a stranger. Come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. Bye, y'all. Love you, minute. Love you, minute. Love you, minute. Bye, y'all. I'm crazier than hell today.